Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A pleasant day to each and everyone. So I am Nurjana Zahid Akis from BAIS 2A. So my report is all about Marzano and Kedal's new taxonomy. So now, before we start our discussing the new taxonomy, we talk about first our proponents. So the first person is Dr. Robert J. Marzano. Actually came up our new taxonomy of education objectives published in year 2000 because he thinks the Bloom's taxonomy has a lot of shortcoming. So incorporate a wider range of factors that affect how learners think and provides more research-based theory to help teachers improve learners' thinking. So the second person we have here is John S. Candles. John Candles is a senior director in research at Mid-Content Research for Education and Learning at Mackerel in Aurora, Colorado at US. Actually, in Mackerel, he met Dr. Marzano and they are co-workers in Mackerel. He worked with clients to establish performance standards for the classroom and develop standards for principals and identify the knowledge and skills that help students learn. So before we go to the new taxonomy, first take a look at the Bloom's taxonomy. So we already have two variations of this taxonomy. So first is we have 6 levels. There is knowledge, comprehension, application, the lower parts of the thinking skills. And according to Bloom, the last 3 is analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. Is the highest part that is the old version of Bloom's taxonomy. So the new Bloom's taxonomy revised is remembering instead of knowledge and understanding instead of comprehension and applying instead of application and analyzing instead of analysis and evaluating instead of synthesis and creating instead of evaluation. So let's take a look at the Marzano and Kendall's new taxonomy. It is not only show us cognitive levels, unlike Bloom's taxonomy that only show us the mental processes and or the cognitive levels. In Marzano and Kendall's taxonomy, there are actually 3 domains of knowledge. There are information, mental procedures, and psychomotor procedures. And they have given us processing levels. So we discuss first the domains or the 3 domains of knowledge. So first is the information or declarative knowledge. So there's are 5 levels. The first is vocabulary terms. Second one is fact or specific characteristics. The third is time sequences. And for the fourth is generalization. And the last one is the principle or generalizations that show relationship. So for example, your topic is ibong adarna. So in vocabulary terms, if you're talking about ibong adarna, you know the term verbania, which is the settings of the story. So the second one is the fact or the specific characteristics. So dito yung you already know kung ano ba ang itsura ng ibong adarna, the name of the father, the mother, or kung sino ang kapatid or ang anak. And the third one is the sequences. So dito yung pagkakasunod-sunod ng mga pangyayari or sino ang sumubok na kunin ang ibong adarna at kung sino ang nauna sa magkakapatid. So the fourth one is the generalizations. It is the moral of our story, or ito yung may kasabihan na kung ano ang ginawa mo sa kapwa mo ay siya ring babalik sa iyo. And the last one is the principles, the generalization that show relationship. Ito yung kung yung unang anak ay, yung una at pangalawang anak ay hindi tumulong, kaya hindi sila matagumpay na nakuha ang kanilang hangarin na makuha ang ibong Adarna. Pero yung pangatlong anak ay matulungin, kaya matagumpay niyang nakuha ang kanyang hangarin na mahuli ang ibong Adarna. So that's are the information. So let's proceed to the mental procedures. So mental procedure is the information is the want of human knowledge. Mental procedure can be described as the how-to. So there are 4 levels of mental procedure. So the first is the single rule. The single rule is a small set of rules with no accompanying step. The second one is algorithm. Algorithm is do not vary in application. Once learned, they have very specific outcomes and very specific step. So the third one is the tactic. Do not consist of steps that must be performed in the specific order. So the last one is the macro procedure. So robust procedures that have a adversity of possible products or outcomes and involves the execution of many interrelated sub-procedures. So that's are the mental procedure. The last one is the psychomotor procedure. Psychomotor procedure is the physical function that will develop without formal interaction. Psychomotor has 3 processes. The first is foundational procedures, the static strength, overall body equilibrium, wrist, finger speed, and arm hand. The second one is the simple combination procedure. This is you shooting a free throw or dribbling a ball. That is the simple combination procedures. So the last one is the complex combination procedure. This is you are playing a sports. So we're done domains of knowledge. So we proceed to now it is very important to us to know that the processing. So here are the 3 system of processing. The level 1 to 4 is the cognitive system. The level 5 is the metacognitive system. And the last is the level 6 is the internal system. So the first level is also known as recovery or retrieval. Retrieval is the activation and transfer of knowledge for permanent memory to working memory. So our permanent memory a while ago, when you retrieve some data from your permanent memory to working memory. So according to Marzano and Kendall, there have 3 levels of recovery or retrieval. So the first is the recognizing. So recognizing is the select from a list, determine whether and provide information is accurate. So we can also use recalling. Recalling is exemplify the name, list, level, static, describe, and who, what, and where, and when. So the last one is the executing. Executing is use, demonstrate, show, make, complete, perform procedures. So that is the recovery or retrieval. The second level is the comprehensions. Comprehension is the data that are deposited in working memory via sensory memory. Sensory memory are not stored in permanent memory exactly as experience. It must be translated into an structure and format that perceives the key of information. So there have two levels. So first is the integrating. Integrating is describe the relationship between describe how or why, describe the parts of describe, the effects of summarize, and the second one is the symbolizing. Symbolizing is symbolize the spec, represent, you can be used illustrate or draw or diagram and chart. So that is comprehension. So we proceed to the third level. The third level is analysis. When you say analysis, this is the reason, extensions of knowledge, and individual elaborates of the knowledge as comprehended. So, and when you say analysis, whatever knowledge you have, you extend it, you elaborate it, know more about certain knowledge, you know better about certain things. So that is analysis. So there have 5 levels of analysis. The first is matching categories. Compare and construct and differentiate. Number 2 is classifying. Classify or organize shorts. The third is analyzing. Identity, errors of problems. Access, critique. Diagnose, evaluate, edit, and revise. The fourth is generalizing. Generalize, conclude, and infer. And the last one is specifying, predict, judge, or agree. So that is the analysis level. So the level 4 is the use of knowledge. When you say use of knowledge, those that individuals use when they wish to accomplish a specific task. So we go to the level of use of knowledge. So the first is the decision making. Decide, select among similar alternatives, makes choices. So the second is the problem solving, to solve and recognize obstacles and adapt. So number 3 is experimenting. So experiment, generate, test, theorize, and predict. Number 4 is the investigating. So to investigate, research, take a position on distinguished features and report results. So the 5th level is the metacognition. Metacognition is the responsible for monitoring, evaluating, and regulating of all other types of thought. And this is our thinking about thinking. Then there have 5 levels of metacognition. So the first is monitoring accuracy. Determine accuracy of understanding. So number 2 is the monitoring clarity, to determine how well they understand knowledge. Number 4 is the process monitoring. So this is the self-monitor, the process of achieving a goal. So number 4 is specifying goals, the set specific learning goals and develop a plan for accomplishing them. So number 5 is the examining motivation. Examining motivation is to learn and improve judgments. So that is the metacognition. So the level 6 is the self-thinking system. Self-thinking system is the interrelated arrangement of attitudes, beliefs, and emotions. So it is determines whether an individual will engage in or disarrange in a given task. And so we only have 3 sub-levels. So the first is the examining emotions. So examining emotion is identify emotional responses associated with knowledge. Number 2 is the examining efficacy. Examine own beliefs to improve integration of knowledge. So number 3, the last one, is the examining importance, to analyze the importance of knowledge to self. So that is the last level of Marzano's and Kendall's taxonomy. So that's all. Thank you for listening. Shukran and wassalam.